There is a decision you haven't made yet. Maybe it's a career move, a relationship, a business idea you've been researching for months. And every single day, you tell yourself, I just need a little more time, a little more information. Then I'll be ready. Here is what nobody's telling you. That feeling of waiting, of being careful, of gathering more data, it's not wisdom. It's a trap. And the longer you stay in it, the more it costs you. Not just in time, but in confidence, opportunity, and who you're slowly becoming. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what's happening in your brain when you can't pull the trigger, and you'll have a clear framework to break out of it for good. Just stay with me. The first insight alone can change how you see yourself. Let's start with the most dangerous lie people who wait tell themselves. I'm being responsible. I'm being thorough. It sounds intelligent, it sounds mature, and that's exactly why it works so well as a trap. Psychologists call this analysis paralysis, the state where overanalyzing a situation causes forward motion to stop completely. And here's the dark part. Your brain doesn't experience this as a problem, it experiences it as safety. In a landmark 2000 study, researchers set up two gem tasting displays in a supermarket. One table had 24 flavors, the other had just 6. When shoppers saw 24 options, they were significantly less likely to buy anything at all. 24 gems and people left without nothing, which honestly is relatable. Who never spent 45 minutes choosing a Netflix show and then fall asleep? Now apply that to your life. You're not choosing between 24 gems. You're choosing between careers, cities, partners, with an infinite amount of information available online. Your brain is being asked to do something it was never built to handle. And here is the key. Research shows people overestimate the benefit of waiting by around 35%. After a certain point, more information doesn't bring clarity. It just surfaces more trade-offs, making the decision feel harder, not easier. The brain interprets more information as more risk, not less. So, if waiting doesn't help, why do we keep doing it? First, you are afraid of feeling, not a fact. Research shows that chronically indecisive people suffer from anticipatory regret. They feel bad about possible outcomes before anything even happens. Their nervous system is already grieving the loss that doesn't exist yet. Essentially, your brain is holding a funeral of a decision you haven't made. Very dramatic, right? Very unhelpful. You are not afraid of making the wrong choice. You are afraid of how you'll feel about having made it. And so, you stay frozen. Not to gather more information, but to protect yourself from a future motion that may never arrive. This psychologist identified two types of decision makers: satisficers who aim for good enough, and maximizers who won't accept anything less than perfect. Research shows maximizers report more anxiety and ultimately end up less happy with their choices. The pursuit of the perfect decision is the enemy of a good life. First two, not deciding is still a decision. Here is the truth most people don't want to hear. Not choosing is still a choice. You are choosing to let time decide for you. A Harvard study found that students who were forced to make a final, irreversible photo choice in a photography class ended up significantly happier with their pick than students who kept the option to swap. So, turns out, having options is actually making us miserable, which explains online dating perfectly. Keeping the back door open prevents you from fully committing to what's in front of you. The third force, your brain switches into protection mode. When a decision feels high stakes, your brain stops asking what's the best path and starts asking how do I avoid a mistake. In that mode, more research feels like more responsibility, not lower. You have created a loop. Okay, but what's the real harm in waiting a little longer? Neurologically, Indecision is erosion. When you act, even in uncertainty, your brain's dopamine circuits fire. You feel momentum. When you delay, those circuits go quiet. Over time, you lose not just the opportunity, but your confidence in your own ability to decide. Chronic indecision literally rewires your brain to treat choices as threats. Emotionally, research links it to higher anxiety, stress, and dissatisfaction. And here is the cruel irony. Psychology today found that people often regret decisions they thought about the longest. The deliberation itself is what fuels regret, because the more time you spend analyzing, the more vividly you imagine every path not taken. You spend 3 months agonizing over a decision, finally choose, and then immediately start thinking about the option you didn't pick. Your brain, great choice. Now, let me show you a highlight reel of everything else you could have had. And in life, the math is brutal. The business you were almost ready to start, the job you never applied for, the relationship you left drift. For people who chronically wait, these are not hypotheticals. They are the biography. Studies are consistent. Most regret don't come from wrong choices, they come from inaction. Here is the good news, and I promise, practical, so pay attention. First strategy, set a deadline and make it sacred. Pre-commit to a timeline before you start analyzing. Not I'll decide when I feel ready. Ready is not a feeling your brain sends when it has enough information. It's a feeling it sends when it's no longer afraid. And that signal, it almost never comes on its own. I will decide by Friday at 5 p.m. Then hold the line. Second strategy, shrink the option set. Narrow your real options to 2 or 3 maximum. List your non-negotiables, what the decisions must satisfy, and cut everything that doesn't meet them. What felt like 20 options is actually 2 or 3. You don't need more options, you need fewer. This is also advice for restaurant, menus, dating apps, and any playlist longer than 200 songs. The goal isn't a perfect choice, it's a good enough choice that you fully commit to. Third strategy, separate the decision from the outcome. You can make a good decision and get a bad outcome. You can make a flawed decision and get a great outcome. The quality of your process and the quality of your result are not the same thing. When you accept that no decision comes with a guarantee, you stop waiting for a certainty that doesn't exist. Fourth strategy, stop researching after you decide. Once you commit, close the tabs. Stop reading reviews, stop asking for opinions. The decision is made. Your job now is execution, not re-evaluation. Continued comparison after deciding is what activates regret. The research is clear on this. Strategy 5th, reframe what wrong means. Almost no decision is permanent. Careers change, business pivot, cities can be left. The catastrophic, irreversible mistake you're trying to avoid through endless analyzing is almost never catastrophic as you imagined it. Faster decisions feel more self-authoritative. That ownership gives you the energy to execute. Extended deliberation, by contrast, fragments your commitment before you even begin. The people who wait ain't cowards. They are often the most thoughtful people in the room. But caring deeply about getting it right and refusing to move until it's perfect are two very different things. One is a virtue, the other is a disguise. The information you're waiting for doesn't exist. Certainty is not coming. The life you want is not on the other side of one more research session. It's on the other side of the decision, even an imperfect one made today and committed to fully. So here is your challenge. Name one decision you've been sitting on. Give yourself 48 hours, not because you'll have all the answers, but because you now know that waiting has never been the answer. If this hits close to home, share it with someone who needs to hear it. and subscribe. There's a lot more coming.